Your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. Say it out loud back to me. Your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. One more time. For your own ears to hear, your own faith, your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. Now write this down. Your job is a resource. Your purpose is your source. Do not confuse the two. Because if you do, you will worship the resource and ignore the source. In other words, you make your paycheck your God and then wonder why you still feel poor in your soul. I came to tell you tonight that you can escape the paycheck treadmill. You can get off the hamster wheel that spins faster every month while your joy gets smaller and your fear gets larger, and you don't do it by luck. You do it by law. Success is predictable when you obey laws. Failure is predictable when you ignore them. Tweet that to somebody right now. Shortcuts are the longest way to success. Hashtag Myles Munroe. What did I say? Shortcuts are the longest way to success. Why? Because you don't break laws. Laws break you. Gravity doesn't care about your intentions. Jump off a building and you become a lesson. The law builds its own consequences into your behavior. Please write this down. Prosperity is not a miracle. It's a management decision under law. Joshua 1-8 says, this book of the law shall not depart out of your mouth. You shall meditate on it day and night, that you may observe to do all that is written in it. Then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. Notice the sequence. Meditate, do, then make your way prosperous. Reverse the verse and you'll see the warning. Ignore the law, refuse to do, and you make your way difficult. So success is not an event, it's a result of lawful obedience. Listen carefully. There is a line on the floor of your life. On one side is paycheck maintenance. On the other is purpose obedience. Most people never cross it. They keep polishing a job description while neglecting their life assignment. But Proverbs 18:16 declares, a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. It didn't say a man's job makes room for him. Your employer can give you a title. Only your gift can give you a room. Say it out loud. My gift is my room key. Let me give you a picture. Imagine a fish attending a bird seminar. It buys the workbook, wears the lanyard, and learns flapping techniques. Then it goes home and jumps out of the water to practice. What happens? It dies in the name of ambition because it violated a law. Fish belong in water. Your purpose is your water. Your paycheck can buy you a nice aquarium, but if it's the wrong water, you still suffocate. Some of you are gasping every Monday morning, not because you are lazy, but because you are out of position. That's why Jesus said, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. First means priority. Kingdom means laws. Righteousness means alignment. In other words, find the laws, align with them, and the additions will chase you. Let me tell you a story. I met a young woman, let's call her Naomi, who worked at a hotel front desk for 7 years. Faithful, punctual, miserable. Her manager loved her smile, but her soul was frowning. One day I asked her, what problem do you solve effortlessly that others pay for clumsily? She blinked. Then she said, chaos. I can walk into a room and see the system in the mess. I told her, your job is a resource. Your gift is the source. Test the law. She began organizing small weddings on weekends. No business cards, just results. In 3 months, brides were calling her the order whisperer. That gift lawfully applied created demand. She didn't quit her job. She outgrew it. Today, she runs an operations consultancy. Same smile. Soul is smiling too. She didn't chase money. She chased alignment. And money is chasing her because she removes a costly problem consistently. Say this. My gift solves problems. Problems pay. Now, hear me. The greatest insult to your creator is to succeed at the wrong assignment. Jeremiah 29:11 says, I know the plans I have for you, not I know the plans you copied from your cousin. Success is measured by what you've done compared to what you were supposed to do. So the first line we cross is mental. Write this down. My employer is not my owner. Your salary is compensation for your job. Your wealth is compensation for your work. Job pays the bills. Work builds the legacy. Job is what they can terminate. Work is what cannot be fired because it is you. I'll give you a mechanics analogy. Your job is the gas station. Your purpose is the engine. The gas station is a resource. You stop there, you receive, you move on. But you don't live at the pump. Too many people pitch the tent at the pump. They brag about the membership card and the points while their engine never leaves the parking lot. Get moving. The law rewards motion, not commotion. Now, someone is thinking, but I prayed for a raise. Wonderful. Keep praying. But hear your pastor tonight. Prosperity doesn't come by prayer alone. It comes by keeping laws. Prayer doesn't replace principles. It powers obedience. Matthew 15:3, Jesus asked, why do you break the commandment of God for the sake of your tradition? Some of us worship the tradition of monthly pay while breaking the law of purpose. That tradition is heavy. Purpose is light. And when you obey the law of purpose, your work becomes oxygen. Your hours disappear because your energy increases. What did I say? Your job can drain your energy. Your work multiplies it. So here is the promise and the path. We are going to move from discovering your gift to defining the problem you solve, to packaging that value so people can buy it, to building a sustainable platform where your work pays. This is not hype. This is law. In this journey, we will separate rules from laws because successful people break rules when they violate laws. We will show you how to respect time, steward money, and protect integrity so your influence expands without your soul shrinking. And we will prove by practice and proof that your gift can be converted into predictable pay. But none of that matters until you cross the line. Tonight, plant your feet and declare, I renounce paycheck dependence. I embrace purpose obedience. Say it again, write it down, tweet it if you must, then begin. Because the longest way to success is the shortcut, but the straightest path is the law. And once you step into law, your source who gave you your gift will make room for you in rooms your job could never open. Write this down because it will save you years. There's a difference between a law and a rule. Laws are universal, unchanging, and built into creation. Rules are cultural, negotiable, and often temporary. You don't break laws. Laws break you. Say it out loud so your mind hears your mouth. I don't break laws. Laws break me. That's why your job feels heavy and your work feels light, because jobs are often governed by man-made rules while true work is governed by immutable laws. Successful people always break the rules for the sake of the law. What did I say? They break rules, not laws. Jesus modeled this distinction. In Matthew 5:17, he said, do not think that I came to abolish the law. I came to fulfill it. He honored the law. But in Matthew 15:3, he challenged the religious leaders, why do you break the commandment of God for the sake of your tradition? Tradition is a rule. Commandment is a law. And in Mark 2:27, when they criticized him over the Sabbath, he replied, the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. In other words, when a rule starts choking your assignment, you are obligated to keep the law of life, love, and purpose and let the rule go. Tweet that to somebody right now. Rules were made to serve your purpose. Your purpose was not made to serve rules. Now, let's come to your office. The job market is full of rules. Submit your resume to this portal. Wait for approval. Climb the ladder. One rung every 3 years. Dress code on Wednesday. Sign here. Ask permission to think. Those rules are not evil, but they can trap you when they conflict with the laws that create value. That's why some of you feel like you are dragging a chain behind your chair, because you are being graded by compliance to rules rather than contribution to value. But value is the thing that gets paid, not compliance. Please write this down. You are not paid for time. You are paid for value delivered in time. Ecclesiastes 10:10 says, if the axe is dull and one does not sharpen the edge, then he must use more strength. But wisdom brings success. That verse is a law. Sharpen the edge. Improve value, work gets lighter, and success becomes predictable. Let me give you a parable from the office. A young man named Daniel applied for a product designer role. The rule said, must have 5 years experience, 1 Ivy League degree, and be willing to relocate. Daniel had none of the above, but he had the law. He studied the user's complaints, redesigned the onboarding flow on his own time, and reduced the steps from 12 to 5. He took before and after metrics, recorded a screen demo, and sent it to the hiring manager without asking for permission. He broke their application rule by obeying the law of value. They call him in the next day because rules bow when law shows up. What manner of man is this? He separated himself from normal men. That's influence. Please write this down and underline it twice. Stop begging rules for a raise. Obey laws that raise your value. You've been waiting for a manager to notice you, while the laws that govern pay have been waiting for you to notice them. There are economic laws baked into the marketplace. They are non-negotiable. Obey them and pay becomes predictable. Ignore them and you will keep memorizing rules and missing rooms. Here are 3 of those laws. Number 1, the law of value. Value is the measurable improvement you create in someone else's condition. I will repeat that until your pen runs out of ink. Value is the measurable improvement you create in someone else's condition. What did I say? Measurable improvement. In other words, if I can't see it, count it, feel it, or say from it, you didn't create value, you created vibes. Managers cannot pay vibes. Clients cannot wire transfer vibes. They pay for shorter timelines, higher quality, lower risk, increased revenue, reduced costs, elevated status, and preserved peace of mind. That is value. When you focus on the law of value, your work becomes light because you stop counting hours and start counting outcomes. Number 2, the law of demand. Demand follows pain. The more frequent, urgent, and costly the problem, the higher and steadier the demand. That's why a plumber's price triples at midnight, because the water doesn't care about your budget. It's obeying a law. Jesus met demand by solving problems people could not solve: blind eyes, deaf ears, hungry crowds. He didn't print flyers promising greatness. He multiplied bread. When your gift consistently removes an expensive problem, people will line up. Proverbs 18:16 again whispers, a man's gift makes room for him. It does not say a man's resume makes room for him. Your gift targeted at costly pain creates magnetic demand. Number 3, the law of exchange. Money is a certificate of solved problems. Exchange happens when the perceived value of your solution exceeds the price and the risk. In other words, people give you money not because you exist, but because you reduce their pain greater than the pain of paying you. That's why packaging matters, but we'll get there later. For now, hear the law. No exchange, no pay. So please stop being offended at prices. Be obsessed with value so exchange becomes a no-brainer. Now bring these 3 together and listen to your life. Your job feels heavy when you are trapped inside rules that measure the wrong things: time in chair boxes, check, smiles per minute. Your work feels light when you are governed by laws: value delivered, real demand addressed, fair exchange completed. The law rewards accuracy, not activity. Write that down. That's why Jesus could sleep in a storm. He wasn't breaking the law of buoyancy. He understood it. Some of you are drowning in rules while the law of buoyancy value could carry you. Get out of the boat of tradition and walk on the water of law. Oh dear, I hope you caught that. Someone said, well, my company won't let me take initiative. Don't ask your company for permission to obey a law. Develop proof after hours. Solve a problem for free once to document value. Present evidence, not opinions. If they still ignore law, then your evidence becomes your exit. Remember, your job is a resource. Your source is your gift. If one rule book rejects you, the marketplace will write you another chapter when you obey the law. Joshua 1-8 told you already, observe to do, then you shall make your way prosperous. Not observe to apply for permission, observe to do. Let me offend your laziness for a holy minute. Some of you are praying in tongues for a promotion while breaking the law of value, the law of demand, and the law of exchange. That's like a fish fasting to become a bird. You can speak in the language of angels, but if you jump out of your water, you suffocate. The kingdom is lawful. Prayer powers obedience. It doesn't replace it. Meditate on that. Do it. Then make your way prosperous. Success is predictable. Failure is predictable because laws make life predictable. Write that on your mirror. Here's your assignment this week. Identify one man-made rule that has been limiting your assignment. It might be no new ideas without senior approval, or only managers talk to clients, or wait for the annual review, then without breaking integrity. Design a lawful way to deliver value anyway. Build a prototype. Draft a case study. record a demonstration, reduce a process from 12 steps to 5, offer to solve a colleague's recurring pain, measure the result, present it. If they celebrate it, you just taught your environment a new rule by obeying a higher law. If they reject it, you just taught yourself where not to waste your purpose. Say this with me. I keep laws. I challenge rules. I honor purpose. I question tradition. I increase value. I attract demand. I enable exchange. That is why my work feels light. Because where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty, not rule worship, but law alignment. And when you align with law, you stop dragging your soul to a paycheck and start delivering your gift to a marketplace that cannot ignore you. Write this down and don't let it leave your life. A job is a temporary task for pay. Work is your life's assignment. A gift is the inherent ability you were sent to earth with. Say it out loud with me so your ears can disciple your doubt. A job is a temporary task for pay. Work is my life's assignment. My gift is the inherent ability I was sent to earth with. In other words, your job is what they can hire and fire. Your work is what God wired that cannot be terminated. And your gift is the engine that drives the work. This is why many of you feel conflicted. You've been trying to get destiny from a paycheck. A paycheck is a receipt. Purpose is a reason. Tweet that to somebody right now. A paycheck is a receipt. Purpose is a reason. Let me paint you a picture you will never forget. Your gift is the seed. Your work is the tree. Your job is the part useful, but too small to hold your future. What did I say? Your gift is the seed. Your work is the tree. Your job is the pot. If you keep a seed in a packet, it remains potential. If you plant it in a pot, it sprouts, but it is restricted, root bound, circling, stunted. That's what a job can do. Start you, hold you, feed you for a season, but your forest is not in the pot. Genesis 1:11 says, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself. The seed carries its own future, but it needs the right environment. Your gift carries your future, but it suffocates when you confuse the pot for the soil. Scripture confirms your biography before your resume existed. Jeremiah 1-5 announces, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. That's gift language. Ephesians 2:10 continues, for we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. That's work language. Proverbs 18:16 declares, a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. That's market language. Notice the sequence. God knew you gift. He prepared work's assignment. Your gift makes room platform. Your job is the taxi that takes you to the field. Don't marry the taxi driver. Now, please write this down in bold letters. Success is not what you've done compared to others. It's what you've done compared to what you were supposed to do. What did I say? Say it back to me. Stop measuring your harvest by your neighbor's weather report. Matthew 25 tells us the master gave talents, each according to his ability, then returned to measure multiplication, not imitation. He did not compare the 2-talent servant to the 5-talent servant. He compared each to their assignment. In other words, destiny grading is individual. So if you win at the wrong thing, you still fail God's metric. That's why clarity of terms creates clarity of path. Your gift defines your work. Your job only funds your journey. How do you recognize the gift? Evidence, not vibes. Here are signs. Number 1, it is natural to you. You do it with a grace that others call talent, but to you, it feels like breathing. Number 2, it consistently solves problems for others. People come to you for it without you advertising, because pain is a magnet for true gift. Number 3, it energizes you when you operate in it. Time collapses and fatigue slows down. Your hours feel like minutes. Number 4, it produces results beyond your effort. You put in 5 and reap 50. Favor seems to stand on your side of the table. That's not luck, that's law. 1 Peter 4:10 says, as each has received a gift, use it to serve one another, which means your gift is validated by service that produces measurable improvement. Another clue is the pain you cannot tolerate. The pain you hate is often the problem you were assigned to correct. Moses couldn't stand injustice. That pain pulled out a deliverer. Nehemiah couldn't stomach broken walls. That pain birthed a builder. You might despise disorganized meetings. Perhaps your work is operational clarity. You might grieve ugly interfaces. Perhaps your work is translating complexity into simplicity. You might ache over marriages collapsing. Perhaps your work is covenant coaching rooted in law. That irritation you feel is an invitation from God to apply your gift to a costly problem. Write this down. Your discomfort is a compass. Now, don't get spooky. In other words, discover your gift to define your work. Use your job to fund the transition. Your job is a resource, not your source. Treat it as your first investor. While you are faithful in that role on time, excellent, integrous, allocate part of your paycheck to cultivate your gift. Courses, tools, mentors, prototypes. Set a schedule, 2 hours a day or 10 hours a week to practice your gift on real problems. Document outcomes. Build case studies. Package your proof. When the fruit on your tree begins to weigh the branches, you know the pot is too small. Don't smash the pot in anger. Transplant with wisdom. Let me show you this in a life. There's a young man I'll call Ethan. Night security guard. Quiet building. He hated how small businesses on his street struggled to get noticed. That pain irritated him. During the night shift, he sketched storefront redesigns and simple brand stories. On weekends, he offered one-page makeovers to shop owners for the price of lunch. He took before and after photos, counted new foot traffic, measured sales lifts, and tracked customer reviews. In 6 months, one bakery reported a 32% increase in Saturday sales after Ethan clarified their story and window layout. That's the law of value, documented. He didn't quit his job foolishly. He used it to buy a camera, printing, and a course on retail psychology. Today, he still works part-time by choice because his growing studio pays more for 3 days of work than the God Post did for 7. What happened? Gift defined work. Job funded the journey. Results attracted demand. Predictable. Say this with me. My gift defines my work. My job funds my journey. Again, louder. That confession breaks the back of confusion. When you wake tomorrow, you are not going to a prison, you're going to your investor. You will deposit excellence there and withdraw capital, contacts, competence, and case studies for your assignment. Keep your heart anchored in the law, value, demand, exchange. Keep your feet planted in discipline and keep your eyes on purpose, because when the seed of your gift is planted in the soil of your work, watered by practice and exposed to the sunlight of real problems, the law guarantees a harvest. You don't need to chase rooms. Your gift will grow a room. And when that room appears, it won't be because a rule liked you, but because a law recognized you. Now let's make this practical. Please write this down. Your gift announces itself where your evidence, environment, and energy align. What did I say? Say it back to me. Your gift announces itself where your evidence, environment, and energy align. This is not guesswork. This is law. Jeremiah 29:11 declares, I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. Plans mean design. Design means intent. Intent means discoverable patterns in your life. God hid the treasure in plain sight inside your evidence, your environment, and your energy. Begin with evidence. Write this down, because your pen is your shovel. Inventory ease. Make a list, yes, a literal list of activities that feel effortless to you but are valuable to others. Not what you wish you could do, what you actually do without groaning. Examples: you walk into chaos and instantly see a process. You hear a story and immediately find the headline. You meet a stranger and draw out trust. You look at numbers and see a picture. You step into a kitchen and your hands just orchestrate order. If you watch a child struggle and your patience becomes a bridge. If it is easy to you and expensive to others, circle it twice. Value hides in your ease. That's why many of you miss it, because you keep respecting what is hard while ignoring what is holy in you. Matthew 7:16 says, by their fruit you shall know them. Fruit is evidence. Stop arguing with your harvest. Now move to interviews. Please write this question down verbatim, then go ask 7 people who know your actual contribution. What do I do that consistently helps you? Not what do you like about me? We're not fishing for compliments. We're gathering data. Ask your colleagues, your clients, your spouse, your siblings, your pastor, the neighbor you've helped 3 times, even that honest coworker who doesn't flatter. Then capture the exact phrases. Don't edit their words to fit your fantasy. If 3 of them say you make complicated things simple, that's evidence. If 5 say you calm rooms, that's evidence. If 2 say you always see what's broken before it breaks, that's evidence. Build a page called patterns and tally the repeats. The law of 2 or 3 witnesses establishes a matter. If 7 different people in 7 different rooms using 7 different words point to the same outcome, that is not random, that is residue from your gift at work. Let's go further back. Childhood clues. Write this down. Before pain and pressure taught you to conform, your gift played freely. What did you do when no one was grading you? Some of you built cities with blocks and then wrote rules for the citizens. That's governance and systems. Some of you rearranged the living room and held a concert with hairbrush microphones. That's design and performance. Some of you mediated sibling wars at age 8. That's peacemaking and negotiation. Some of you collected injured birds and stitched leaves into bandages. That's care and healing. Do not dismiss your play. It prophesied. When David killed lions privately, he didn't know he was rehearsing for Goliath. When you organized your friends into teams with fair rotations, you didn't know you were training for operations leadership. Go back and interview your childhood. Ask your parents, what did I do for hours without being told? Their memory is a mirror. Now, environment. This is a law. A fish doesn't need prayer to swim, just water. Write that down and tweet it to somebody right now. Rules may tell the fish attend wing classes, but law says find water. Some of you are gasping because you're talented, but your tank is toxic. Law of environment means your gift needs the right context to flourish, right problems, right people, right pressure. Pressure? Yes, the right kind. Diamonds need pressure. Seeds need soil. Ideas need demand. Put a seed on a marble countertop and pray in tongues it will not grow. Place it in soil and walk away. The Lord will do the heavy lifting. Ask yourself, what environments make my ease valuable? If you streamline chaos, you need messy rooms to clean. If you tell stories, you need confused messages to clarify. If you heal, you need broken places to mend. Stop cursing your exposure to problems. They are the water your gift swims in. Choose rooms where your difference is demanded, not where your conformity is rewarded. Let me add a warning. Applause is not the same as alignment. Some rooms will clap for the performance you learned to survive while starving the purpose you were born to deliver. Jesus left Nazareth because the environment reduced him to Mary's boy. In another city, the same gift, multiplied bread, different water, better swim. Mark 6 says he could do no mighty work there because of their unbelief. Environment law. If your present pond keeps calling your shark a goldfish, find another pond. Now to the third marker, energy. Please write this down. Energy is a clue, not a mystery. Where do you lose track of time while creating outcomes that others value? Not where you binge and escape, where you build and produce. That's a breadcrumb. Time bends differently in your assignment. 2 hours can feel like 20 minutes when you're aligned. Conversely, 20 minutes can feel like 2 hours when you're out of position. Keep a 7-day log this week. Track moments when your energy rose during a task. Note the activity, the people around you, the problem being solved, and the result produced. If your energy rises when you mentor, but drops when you manage spreadsheets, that's not disloyalty to your job, that's data for your work. If your energy spikes designing prototypes at midnight, but collapses in endless meetings at noon, don't just drink more coffee, change your environment to match your energy. The law is simple. Purpose multiplies energy. Misalignment taxes it. Let me bring this to life with a man I'll call Marco. He was a quiet pharmacist, kind and precise, but exhausted. He thought his gift was medicine. We did the inventory. Evidence said he prevented errors others missed. Customers said you explained complex side effects so even grandma understands. Childhood clues said he used to build Lego cities with traffic rules. His energy log showed spikes every time he redesigned the store flow to reduce wait times. We changed his environment 1 day a week instead of just dispensing. He mapped bottlenecks, rerouted tasks, and trained techs with simple diagrams. In 30 days, average wait time dropped by 42%. That wasn't medicine. That was process design with compassion. He found water. He didn't quit. He repositioned. Now his side practice helps small clinics streamline patient flow. Same man, same heart, lawful environment, predictable results. Here's your assignment. Write this down and do it. Number 1, make your ease inventory. List 10 activities that feel natural to you and are valuable to others. Circle the top 3 that people already request. Number 2, conduct the 7 interviews. Ask, what do I do that consistently helps you? Record exact phrases, tally repeats. Number 3, retrieve 3 childhood clues. Write what you did for hours without being told, who you gathered, what you built. Number 4, audit your environment. Identify 2 rooms that drain your gift and 2 rooms that demand it. Plan 1 move this month to spend more hours in the right water. Number 5, run the energy test. Log your week. Highlight where time disappeared while outcomes appeared. Align your calendar toward those activities. Then draw a Venn diagram with 3 circles: evidence, environment, energy. Where those 3 overlap, put a star. That star is your present assignment. That is where your gift is already whispering, here I am. Say it with me. My design is not random. My patterns are prophetic. My evidence, environment, and energy agree. Again, louder. And as you do this in faith, remember Jeremiah 29-11 is not a refrigerator verse. It is a research mandate. I know the plans, God says. So go find the plans. Observe the laws. Align your water. Respect your energy. And when evidence, environment, and energy shake hands, your gift will stop hiding. It will stand up in you and command a room your resume could never open. That's not magic. That's law. Now that your gift has stopped hiding and started whispering, we must introduce it to its employer. Write this down, because this is the bridge from passion to pay. Money hides in problems you solve, not in talents you possess. What did I say? Say it back to me. Money hides in problem solved. In other words, the marketplace is not sentimental. It is lawful. Demand follows pain, and pay follows demand. Success is predictable when your gift consistently removes a costly problem for identifiable people. Let me make this painfully practical. Please write these 3 questions on the same page and do not leave it blank this week. Number 1, what precise problem does my gift solve? Not, I'm good with people. That's a feature. What problem? I reduce team conflict that is costing projects 2 extra weeks. That's the problem. Number 2, who exactly has this problem? Name them like a person. Not a 4 mid-sized clinic administrators with 15-40 staff, home service companies losing calls after 5 p.m., new mothers overwhelmed by meal planning. Number 3, what is the measurable cost if this problem remains unsolved? Is it lost revenue per month, extra labor hours, customer churn, legal risk, missed sleep? If you cannot quantify the pain, you cannot justify the pain. Tweet that to somebody right now. If you can't count the pain, don't quote the price. Here's why most talented people stay broke. They lead with features, not outcomes. I offer leadership coaching. No one wakes up at 2 a.m. in cold sweat saying, I need coaching. They wake up saying, my team is missing deadlines. My board is on my back. My confidence is cracking. Translate, don't just title. In other words, people don't buy coaching, they buy confidence under pressure, clarity for decisions, and results that restore sleep. I build websites. That's a feature. I recover 32% of abandoned carts for Shopify stores in 30 days. That's an outcome. I do photography. Feature. I fill your restaurant on Tuesdays by making locals hungry with 3 0-second reels. We track reservations tied to every video. Outcome. Please write this down. Features describe you. Outcomes relieve them. Payment attaches to pain removed, not to effort spent. What did I say? Say it until your pride surrenders. Let's enlist the master. Luke says that after a whole night of expert effort, Peter and his crew caught nothing. They had skill, tradition, experience, features. Then Jesus borrowed Peter's boat, taught a crowd, and turned to a professional problem. Launch out into the deep and let down your nets for a catch. Luke 5-4. Peter protests with data. We toiled all night. Effort spent. Jesus applies law, right location, right depth, right side. They obeyed and enclosed a great multitude of fish until the nets began to break. Luke 5-6. In John 21, post-resurrection, it happens again. Cast the net on the right side of the boat and you will find some. Same lake, same boat, new instruction. Hear me. His gift did not just inspire, it solved a professional's problem in their domain. That miracle produced credibility so strong that they forsook all and followed him. Influence follows visible problem solving. You don't have to shout, I'm anointed. Just tell them which side to throw the net and fill their boats. The invoice is in the overflow. So how do you prove demand lawfully and quickly? Field tests. Please write this sequence down and do not edit it with excuses. Step 1, select one precise problem in one person group. Step 2, design a small pilot 2 to 4 weeks that aims at one visible outcome. Step 3, measure a baseline before you touch anything. Step 4, deliver your solution with discipline. No drama, just law. Step 5, collect data, testimonials, and a before-after snapshot. That becomes your proof, your platform, and your first price anchor. Joshua 1-8 says, observe to do, not observe to debate endlessly. Do, then you shall make your way prosperous. The law rewards execution with evidence. Evidence attracts demand. Demand justifies pay. Let me illustrate with 3 quick real-world profiles. A young woman named Priya used to say, I'm a nutritionist. Feature, we pressed her. What problem, who, what cost? She discovered her gift was simplifying food decisions under stress. Target busy new mothers in her city, cost of the problem, decision fatigue, skipped meals, rising postpartum anxiety, and takeout spending averaging $280 a month. Her pilot, a 1-day, no-think meal map with grocery lists, 1 5-minute recipes, and a support chat, baseline journal. Outcome, 41% reduction in takeout spend, self-reported energy up. 2 husbands wrote, my wife smiles again. That is demand with tears. She didn't sell coaching, she sold restored bandwidth and peace. Price became honorable. A man called Andre claimed, I'm a project manager. Feature, we reframed, I eliminate missed handoffs in small construction crews that are adding 2 unpaid Saturdays per month. He ran a 30-day pilot on 1 crew. I introduced a 2-page daily handoff ritual and a whiteboard. Baseline, average 11.5 hours, week of rework. Outcome, down to 4.2 hours. They saved payroll and reclaimed weekends. He left with a testimonial and a standing retainer. No website yet, just the law obeyed. A college student, Lena, loved editing audio. Feature. But the problem she solved was inconsistent podcast sound causing audience drop-offs at minute 7. She offered a free episode audit to 5 local shows, measured retention curves, implemented a simple leveling chain and mic protocol, and lifted minute 7 retention by 18%. The host paid her because she didn't sell editing. She sold listener trust and sponsor readiness. Your job is not to impress. Your job is to remove pain predictably. That's why I tell you, use your job as your investor to fund these pilot software, tools, a few gift cards for beta clients. Document everything. If someone asks your price before you, have proof, smile and say, we start with a diagnostic, then bring data, not drama. When you show a bakery, Tuesdays from 2-5 p.m. were your slowest. Our 3 reels drove 27 extra tables over 2 weeks. Average ticket $18. Revenue lift $486. They will not argue about your $400 invoice. That's the law of exchange, bowing to the law of value. Now, a warning dressed as love. Perfection is procrastination in tuxedo. The market pays for improved states, not immaculate portfolios. Field test your way to clarity. If version 1 underperforms, don't pout, adjust the target, tighten the promise, retest. Gravity does not get offended when you fall. It teaches you how to stand. Likewise, demand does not respond to feelings. It responds to outcomes. Here's your immediate assignment. Write down 1 sentence that names your gift's problem, person, and price of pain. Example, I help overbooked dental offices cut patient wait times by 30% in 30 days, reducing walkouts and bad reviews. Then message 5 prospects with a simple offer. I'd like to run a 4-day pilot to reduce X by Y. No long contract. We'll measure before and after. If we hit the target, we'll discuss a monthly engagement. Deliver, measure, collect a quote with numbers in it. Build a 1-page proof sheet. Post one result publicly. Repeat, keep the promise tight enough that the person in pain can nod without thinking. Say this with me. Payment attaches to pain removed, not to effort spent. Again, louder. And as you practice this law, remember Peter's lesson: right location, right depth, right side. Align your gift with a visible problem. Serve the right person. Promise one measurable outcome and test it in the field. When law governs your offer, pay becomes predictable. Not because you obeyed the rule, but because you obeyed a law. Now let me give you the roadmap I wish I had when I was 21, 31, and even 41. Write this down, because this is the spine that holds everything we've said together. Sustained success is the result of walking a disciplined, law-based sequence. The 10 P's until pay becomes predictable. What did I say? Say it back to me. The 10 P's are not tricks. They are laws in sequence. Break the sequence and you break your predictability. You don't break laws. Laws break you. The first P is purpose. Please write this down. Clarify why you exist and document your assignment in one sentence. Not a paragraph, not a poem, one sentence that a child could understand and a CEO could measure. I exist to make complexity simple so leaders decide with peace. I exist to restore neighborhood pride through clean, safe spaces. I exist to translate ideas into designs that sell. Jeremiah 29-11 is not a mystery fog, it's a plan. I know the plans I have for you. Plans imply specificity. Ephesians 2:10 says you were created for good works prepared beforehand. That means your sentence exists. You must find it. Do not leave this week without writing it. If you can't write it, you can't walk it. Tweet that to somebody right now. Hashtag Myles Munroe. The second P is perception. Write this down. See yourself as sent, not employed. Identity drives behavior. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. If you see yourself as a paycheck chaser, you will act like a beggar. If you see yourself as an ambassador of a solution, you will negotiate like a king. Jesus said, as the Father has sent me, so send I you. That's employment language from heaven. Your job is a resource. God is your source. In other words, your badge might say assistant manager, but your perception should say assigned problem solver. Perception changes posture, posture changes proposals, and proposals change pay. What did I say? Say it out loud until your shoulders lift. The third P is potential. Please write this down. Audit capacities and constraints. Skill up where your gift demands mastery. The seed contains the tree, but the tree still needs pruning, water, and light. Ecclesiastes 10:10 says, if the axe is dull, you must use more strength. Wisdom is profitable to direct. Some of you are swinging a dull axe at a big tree. No wonder you're tired. Sharpen it. List your present skills, your missing skills, and your limiting beliefs. Then invest your job's money into your work's mastery. Take the course, hire the mentor, learn the software. Potential without cultivation is pretense. Don't ask God to bless what you refuse to sharpen. The fourth P is passion. Write this down. Passion is fuel for consistency. It keeps you practicing when applause is absent. Leviticus 6:13 says the fire on the altar must not go out. Your gift is the wood. Passion is the flame. Anybody can work when they're trending. Champions work when no one is watching. When you align passion with purpose, boredom becomes a laboratory, not a prison. Passion does not replace discipline, it powers it. If your fire is flickering, return to your why. Read your purpose sentence aloud every morning until your bones remember. The fifth P is principles. This is my favorite. Please write this down and underline it. Codify the laws that govern your domain. Study them until your habits obey them. Joshua 1-8 says, this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth. Meditate day and night that you may observe to do. Then you will make your way prosperous. Reverse the verse. If you do not observe to do the laws, You will not make your way prosperous. Success is predictable. List the core laws in your space. The law of value, people pay for problems removed. The law of demand, pain pulls solutions. The law of exchange, measurable outcomes, justify price. The law of environment, gifts need the right water. The law of focus, one promise at a time. Successful people always break the rules for the sake of the law. If a policy fights a principle, obey the principle. Matthew 15 shows Jesus challenging traditions that violated God's commands. Keep laws, question rules. The 6P is planning. Don't shout right. Habakkuk 2:2. Write the vision. Make it plain that he may run who reads it. Write this down. No plan, no pay. Set measurable goals, channels, pricing, and timelines. Decide what problem you will solve for whom this quarter. Decide your offer, your minimum viable pilot, your price anchors, your outreach cadence, your measurement dashboard. Deadlines create discipline. If you can't put a date on it, you will drift. In other words, planning puts your passion on a calendar and your promises under accountability. The 7P is people. Write this down. Build a circle, mentors for wisdom, peers for sharpening, proteges for legacy. Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpens iron. If everyone around you is wood, you will spark but never sharpen. Find mentors who have evidence, not just microphones. Sit under their laws. Peers keep you honest. Run with builders who measure and share data. Proteges pull greatness out of you. They force you to articulate laws, not just perform them. And hear my pastoral warning. Bad company corrupts good character. 1 Corinthians 15:33. Choose your table like your future sits there, because it does. The 8P is persistence. This is the daily grind of greatness. Please write this down. Excellence is predictable practice. Galatians 6:9 says, do not grow weary in well-doing, for in due season you shall reap if you faint not. Persist in the reps, make the calls, run the pilots, analyze the results, refine the promise, repeat, champion separate from the crowd, in the mundane, not the moment. If you only practice when you feel it, you are a hobbyist. Set a daily minimum viable discipline. One outreach, one improvement, one measurement, one testimony. Do it until it bores you, then keep doing it until it builds you. The 9P is perseverance. Write this down. Endure seasons of invisibility without abandoning your lane. Joseph managed prisons before he managed a nation. David killed lions when no one clapped, before he killed Goliath when everyone shouted. Hebrews 10:36 says you have need of endurance, so that after you have done the will of God, you may receive the promise. Don't change your assignment because your audience is small. Keep laws, keep lanes, keep moving. The day you are tempted to quit is often the day your roots are finally deep enough for the fruit to last. And the 10th P, prayer. Say it with me. Prayer is alignment and instruction. Joshua 1-8 again, meditate and do. Pray to receive law, not to escape labor. Prayer calibrates perception, refreshes passion, exposes principles, corrects plans, attracts people, strengthens persistence, and fortifies perseverance. Reverse the verse with me. If you meditate and observe to do, you shall make your way prosperous and have good success. Not random success, not viral luck, good success, lawful success. Proverbs 3-5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Paths plural. That means he will govern your sequence. Pray in the morning, practice by noon, measure by evening, give thanks at night, and repeat. Now, let me tie the bow. The 10 P's are not 10 options. They are 10 gears in one transmission. Purpose sets direction. Perception sets posture. Potential sets capacity. Passion sets energy. Principles set boundaries. Planning sets steps. People set momentum. Persistence sets motion. Perseverance sets endurance. Prayer sets guidance. Walk them in order. Cycle them continually. And watch pay become predictable, because your obedience is predictable. Say this after me. I will submit my gift to God's laws, sequence my steps, and make my way prosperous. Again, louder. And when the checks begin to match your calling, you will not boast in personality. You will testify of principle. Your job will remain a resource. Your source will remain the Lord. And your work will become a river that waters many, because you chose the law over luck and sequence over sentiment. Now that you've got evidence dripping off your nets, we must make your value buyable. Write this down. People don't purchase potential. They purchase packaged promises. What did I say? Say it back to me. Package the promise. In other words, turn your method into something someone can point at, name, and schedule. Your gift is the engine, but if you don't put it in a vehicle, it won't carry anybody anywhere. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain so he may run who reads it. Plain means buyable. If they can't see it, they can't select it. If they can't select it, they can't pay for it. So how do we package? Convert your repeatable method into a signature offer program, service, product, or curriculum centered on one measurable promise. Priya's no-think meal map is a productized offer, not a vague service. Andre's 2-page handoff ritual became a named service package with a 30-day implementation. Lena turned her chain into the 7-minute retention fix for podcasters. Write this down. Name the promise, frame the path, define the proof. That's the skeleton of your offer. Promise is your measurable outcome. Path is your steps and timeline. Proof is your evidence and case study. Don't sell air. Sell an outcome with architecture. Break rules. Keep laws. Some of you are waiting for a gatekeeper to validate what your data has already proven. Why? The law of exchange does not require a permission slip. It requires value that removes pain. Jesus did not fill out a temple application to tell fishermen where to cast. He obeyed the law of value, and results made the introduction. If a rule says you must have a certification before you reduce wait times, but the law says he who solves the problem gets influence. Obey the law. Matthew 15 shows Jesus rebuking traditions that nullified God's intent. You don't break laws, laws break you. But by all means, break man-made rules that muzzle your assignment while maintaining integrity and legality. Start direct to people. Knock on doors your proof has already opened. Now, pricing. Write this down and tweet it to a friend who still bills by the hour. You are not paid for time. You are paid for value delivered. Hours are a rule from industrial payroll. Outcomes are a law in the marketplace. When David asked in 1 Samuel 17, what shall be done for the man who kills his Philistine? He priced by outcome, remove the threat, receive the reward. That's biblical pricing. Stop whispering. My rate is $35 an hour. Say, we cut your Tuesday dead zone by 30% in 4 weeks. Expected lift $2,000. Our fee, $800. If your solution erases $10,000 of pain each quarter, your price should respectfully stand in that neighborhood. Price tells a story. Make sure it narrates value, not neediness. If they ask for your hourly rate, smile and say, we price by outcomes. Here's the result. Here's the timeline. Here's the investment. Positioning is your billboard in the mind. Please write this down and say it out loud. I help who get results without friction in time frame. That is not poetry. That is purchase language. Fill the blanks. I help mid-sized dental offices cut wait times by 30% without hiring new staff in 30 days. I help new moms reclaim 5 hours a week without counting calories in 21 days. I help Shopify stores recover 32% of abandoned carts without redesigning their entire site in 30 days. Make it plain. Clarity attracts. Confusion repels. A confused mind does not buy. Get the fog out of your mouth. Visibility is a law. Write this down. What is celebrated becomes a celebrity. Jesus didn't hide fish under a top. He filled 2 boats until the shoreline talked. Matthew 5:16 says, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father. See, not assume. Build moments where results are seen. This is not vanity. It is stewardship of proof. Do before, after snapshots. 1 4-day graphs. 1-minute teardown videos. Client quotes with numbers. Schedule a results reveal. Live each Friday. When value is visible, demand locates you without you begging. Influence is when other people change their priorities for yours. Visible proof is the highway to that city. Brand clarity multiplies memory, and memory multiplies demand. Name your framework. Give your steps a handle that sticks in the brain. Right side, net method, location, depth side. 2-page handoff, morning board, afternoon brief. 7-minute retention, fixed intro, standard, headroom, compression, limiter, room tone, DS, QC pass. Consistency builds memory. Use the same language, same outcome, same sequence on every platform. Your colors don't make a brand, your consistency does. When people can predict what you deliver and how you deliver it, they'll trust your price. Proverbs 22:1 says, a good name is to be chosen. Rather than great riches, build the name of your framework until your name opens doors money cannot. Let me pass to you and provoke you at the same time. Stop hiding behind endless custom proposals. Custom is often a mask for confusion. Offer one flagship package that removes one expensive problem in one clear timeline. Then, if needed, build a premium tier with more access and a light tier with a narrower promise, but anchor your identity in the flagship offer. Think like a surgeon. Clear diagnosis, standard procedure, predictable recovery. We can personalize bedside manner. We don't improvise the incision. Here's your assignment. Write a 1-page offer today. Top line, your positioning statement, who, result, without, time frame. Next, the 3-step path you lead them through. Next, proof, one case with numbers. Next, price framed against the cost of the problem, show the math. Next, schedule and start date. Next, risk reversal statement that is lawful and clear. If we do not hit X by day 30, we extend at no cost for 7 days, or we start with a low-risk pilot. Then, add one visible asset, a before-after graphic, or a 60-second result story. Email it to 5 prospects before sunset. He that observes the wind will not sow, Ecclesiastes 11:4. Stop forecasting the breeze. Plant the seed. Say this with me. I package the promise, I position with clarity, I price by outcome, and I publish proof. Again, louder. Your job will fund the printing, the pilot, the platform, but the source is the law of value you are now obeying. When your value is clearly packaged and positioned, demand can find you and justify your price. Not because you hustle the trend, but because you honor the law. Cast on the right side, name what you do, show what you did, and let the boats fill. Now that you have named your promise and priced by outcome, the next law is how you earn influence lawfully. Write this down. Visible, repeatable results on an intentional platform create influence that multiplies demand. What did I say? Say it back to me. In other words, excellence becomes a magnet when it is seen consistently in the same place long enough for people to trust the pattern. Proverbs 22:29 says, do you see a man diligent in his work? He will stand before kings, not before cousins, before kings. Diligence is simply lawful practice done day after day until the future has no choice but to invite you. Practice first. Please write this down. Champions are not lucky. They are lawful about reps. LeBron James is not an accident. He is a student of repetition. The man is in the gym before the cameras, after the cameras, and when the cameras break. Excellence is not an act. It is a habit formed by honoring the law of practice. Joshua 1-8 again, meditate day and night that you may observe to do. The Hebrew idea there is mutter, repeat, rehearse until you do it without thinking. That's practice. Some of you want influence without boredom. Hear me as your pastor. Boredom is the birthplace of mastery. The violinist plays scales long after the applause is gone. The baker tests the oven when the shop is closed. The consultant refines the diagnostic before the meeting is booked. You don't break laws, laws break you. If you skip practice, the day of performance will expose you publicly. Tweet that to somebody who loves shortcuts. The longest way to success is the shortcut. Now, proof. Write this down and circle it 3 times. Proof beats promises. Jesus said, by their fruits you shall know them. Matthew 7:20. Not by their flyers, not by their slogans, by their fruit. That's metrics, outcomes, tangible change. James 2:18 says, show me your faith without works, and I will show you my faith by my works. Show me. So collect proof like a farmer collects harvest. Before and after metrics, baseline to postline graphs, client quotes with numbers, timestamp screenshots, audio snippets of improved retention, revenue deltas, reduced error rates, fruit. Build case studies that start with the pain, detail the process, and end with measured payoff. And please, discipline your testimonials. We love working with her. It's cute. She cut our wait times by 31% in 21 days, and we stopped losing angry reviews. It's currency. What did I say? Proof is your promotion. Say it out loud. Excellence is your marketing. Proof is your promotion. Let me show you how this works in sequence. Practice produces consistency. Consistency produces confidence. Confidence produces calm in the client. Calm opens the wallet. But the bridge between your consistency and their calm is public proof. That is where platform comes in. Write this down. Platform is the place you place your proof. In other words, your stage is not a stage until your results show up on it. Start local, then go digital, then leverage partnerships. That is a law of scale. Start where you can touch the problem with your hands and your feet. Solve now. If you are reducing dental wait times, begin with 2 clinics within driving distance. If you fix Tuesday slow periods for restaurants, pick 3 within a 5-mile radius. Document everything. Then go digital. Turn local outcomes into online assets. A 2-minute teardown video. A 1-page case with graphs. A right side net mini lesson. Schedule a weekly results post same day, same format, same promise. Consistency builds memory. Memory builds trust. Then partnerships leverage. Approach the local dental association to host a 30-minute results workshop. Offer the restaurant supplier a co-branded webinar. Offer the small business chamber a monthly proof clinic. Their audience becomes your audience because laws reward value with access. Proverbs 18:16 says, a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before a great man. Room opens when results remove pain publicly. Influence defined, write it down. Influence is when other people change their priorities for yours. What is influence? Say it back to me. When you solve problems publicly, you separate from the pack without asking permission. Jesus told them in Matthew 5:16, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father. See good works, not assume them, see them. That's platform. That's proof. Some of you are shouting in quiet rooms and whispering in loud ones. Stop it. The loudest voice in any market is consistent results. In other words, volume is not decibels. Volume is data. Post the chart. Show the calendar. Reveal the improvement. If a rule says don't share metrics, but the law of influence says proof attracts trust, then share ethically, anonymize wisely, but make fruit visible. Successful people always break the rules for the sake of the law. Keep God's law, integrity, honesty, accuracy. Break man-made myths that muzzle your evidence. Let me pass you with a story. A brother named Marco ran a tiny HVAC outfit, no website. He fixed the church's constant Sunday morning AC failure. The pastor was sweating more than the choir. Marco didn't boast, he documented. Baseline, 4 service calls per month, $1,200 in emergency fees, angry members. Intervention, a 4 or 5 minute maintenance ritual, and a $90 sensor swap. Outcome, 0 emergency calls for 90 days. Electric bill down 14%. He printed a 1-page proof, walked it to 3 nearby churches, then posted a 90-second video explaining the ritual. Within a month, he had 6 churches on a quarterly plan. Local, digital, partnership. He then partnered with the city's facility managers breakfast to teach the ritual. Influence is when they rearrange Saturday maintenance schedules to attend his 1 8-minute talk. Why? The loudest voice was consistent results. Here is your immediate assignment. Write this down. Schedule your practice. Script your proof and select your platform. Practice, decide. The daily rep you will not skip for 90 days. 1 diagnostic per day, 1 mini case per week, 1 method refinement per morning, proof design, a simple before-after template, and refuse to finish a project without filling it. platform, pick one local room, one digital channel, and one partnership target for the next 30 days. Local room, library workshop, chamber breakfast, clinic staff huddle. Digital channel, LinkedIn, weekly proof, post every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Partnership target, your industry association's newsletter editor. Then set a recurring calendar block titled Publish Proof Friday. Do it until people expect it. When they can predict your delivery, they will protect your time. Say this with me. Excellence is my marketing. Proof is my promotion. Platform is my multiplier. Again, louder. And remember, your job is your resource. God is your source. Use the paycheck to buy the camera, the software, the room rental for your first workshop, but never confuse the source with the seed. Sow your practice into your gift, harvest your proof and integrity, and place it on a platform on purpose. If you do this lawfully, kings will call, not because you chase them, but because fruit travels. Visible, repeatable results on an intentional platform create influence that multiplies demand. Cast, count, and then let the shoreline talk. Now that your light is on and your proof is public, hear your pastor. Success can suffocate you if you don't install systems. Write this down. Lawful systems convert sporadic wins into sustainable, ethical income. What did I say? Say it back to me. This is not sexy. This is stewardship. 1 Corinthians 14:40 says, let all things be done decently and in order. Order is not a suggestion. It's a law. You don't break laws. Laws break you. Disorder will tax your destiny. Tweet that to somebody who loves drama more than discipline. First, the time law. Please write this down. Schedule your gift first. If it doesn't live on your calendar, it will die in your intentions. Jesus rose a great while before day to pray, Mark 1:35, and then he worked miracles from a full well. God himself rested on the seventh day, Genesis 2:2. If God scheduled rest, who are you to run 14 days straight and call it fate? Fate is not abuse, it is alignment. So here is the law. Deep work blocks, recovery rhythms, non-negotiable practice windows. Block 290, minute focus sessions, 4 days a week, where your phone is airplane, your door is closed, and your assignment is singular. That's where you build frameworks, refine methods, and design offers. Recovery rhythms, Sabbath every week, sleep that respects your brain, walks that reset your nervous system. Jesus told his disciples, come away and rest a while, Mark 6:31. That is not laziness, that is stewardship of energy. Non-negotiable practice windows, what we said in the last session, write them in ink. Break the man-made rule of instant reply to keep the law focused. Put an autoresponder during deep work. Focused on client outcomes. 9:11 a.m. I'll reply at 1 p.m. They will respect what you protect. Write this down. Your calendar is your covenant with your future. Psalm 90:12 says, teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Number them, don't wander through them. Morning for creation, afternoon for collaboration, evening for evaluation. Keep meeting free mornings if your gift writes, designs, diagnoses, or builds. Don't let other people's emergencies evict your assignment from your day. In other words, put your oxygen mask on your gift first, then help the plane. Second, the money law. Prosperity doesn't come by prayer. It comes by keeping laws. Pray to know the laws, then obey them. Write this down. Separate accounts, pay your taxes, reinvest a set percentage, build a runway, render to Caesar what is Caesar's, Mark 12:17. Don't play with tax law. It will not play with you. Open a business account today, personal, separate from work. Pay yourself a predictable owner's draw. Stop eating the seed. Allocate percentages the moment money arrives. X% to taxes, X% to reinvestment tools, training, marketing, assets, X% to reserves, X% to compensation, Proverbs 21:20 says, the wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down. Stop gulping. Joseph built a runway, 7 years of plenty, storing for 7 of famine. Genesis 41. You don't need 7 years. Start with 3 to 6 months of operating costs. Your job is your resource. Use it to fund your runway until your work stands on its own feet. Track cash weekly. Review profit and loss monthly. Write this down. What you don't measure, you mismanage. What you mismanage, you lose. Luke 16:10 says, he who is faithful in little will be faithful in much. Be faithful to the $1,000 like you want to be faithful to the $100,000. Receivables clear, invoices sent, taxes set aside, subscriptions audited quarterly, reinvest into assets that shorten time to result, software that automates, equipment that speeds proof, education that removes ignorance. In other words, invest in the sharpening of the axe. Ecclesiastes 10:10. Now, pricing integrity. Please write this down. Don't discount your identity. Design tiers without violating value. A worker is worthy of his wages. Luke 10:7. Proverbs 11:1 warns against dishonest scales. Discount scope, not self. If someone asks for a lower price, reduce deliverables and timeline, lawfully keep the promise proportional. Create 3 tiers anchored in outcome. A pilot with a tighter promise, a standard offer your flagship, and a premium with greater access or volume. But do not play hide and seek with price. State outcomes, state timelines, state investment. If you secretly slash because you feel nervous, you aren't negotiating. You're negotiating away your name. Proverbs 22:1 says, a good name is better than riches, protected by being consistent with your own math. What did I say? Don't discount identity, discount scope. Say it out loud. Contracts and clarity now. Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision and make it plain that he may run who reads it. Make it plain in writing before you start. Scope, timelines, deliverables, success criteria, data you may showcase, anonymize if needed, payment schedule, revision policy, and exit terms. Matthew 5:37 says, let your yes be yes and your no, no. Assigned scope is yes, endless DMs are maybe. Reduce ambiguity, increase trust, break the man-made rule of start now, paperwork later, keep the law of clarity. I have seen more relationships break over unspoken expectations than over poor performance. People do not sue outcomes they agree to, they sue confusion. Protect peace with paper. People, systems, write this down. On board help before burnout. The right people multiply you, the wrong people mortgage you. Exodus 18, Jethro told Moses, what you are doing is not good. And he installed leaders of thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens. Acts 6, the apostles delegated food distribution to keep focus on prayer and the word. Now, in other words, delegation is not luxury, it is law. Your first hires are not status, they are systems. Contract a bookkeeper to reconcile and prepare tax-ready books monthly. Bring in an admin to calendar, invoice, and chase receivables. Document your right side net method in a checklist. Train a technician to handle step 1 while you handle step 3. Write KPIs, numbers that show health, cycle time, outcome rate, client satisfaction, cash days outstanding. Meet weekly for 20 minutes to review the dashboard. Character first, competence second, chemistry third. 1 Corinthians 15:33, bad company corrupts good character. Don't promote a cousin because they are available. Hire the person whose fruit matches your framework. Let me pass you with a quick picture. Tasha, a brand designer, loved the rush of new clients but hated the chaos. She installed 2 deep work blocks each morning, set an autoresponder, and moved meetings to afternoons. She separated accounts, allocated 30% to taxes, 20% to reinvestment, 10% to reserves, paid herself a modest draw, and built a 3-month runway in 5 months. She stopped friends and family discounts and introduced a pilot tier with a narrow promise. She wrote a 2-page contract with scope, milestones, and the right to publish anonymized results. Then she hired a part-time admin for invoicing and a production assistant trained on her 7-step layout checklist. In 9 months, her delivery times dropped 28%. Her revision loops halved, client referrals doubled, and she slept. Influence without insomnia, that's systems. King started calling because she became reliable. Reliability is influence's older sister. Now say this line with me and write it in ink. Order protects your gift. Disorder taxes your destiny. Again, louder. Proverbs 24:27 says, prepare your work outside. Get everything ready for yourself in the field. And after that, build your house. Preparation before expansion. Count the cost before you build. Luke 14:28. Put time in order, money in order, contracts in order, people in order, and then scale. Prayer without process produces presumption. Prayer with process produces prosperity. Reverse Joshua 1-8 again. Meditate and do, and you will make your way prosperous and have good success. Not hype good success, lawful success. Here is your next move. By Sunday night, block your deep work windows for the next 30 days. Open a separate business account and set your percentages. Draft a one-page scope template and refuse to start without signatures. List the first 2 rows you will offload within 60 days and write the checklist they will use. Then, schedule a weekly 30-minute stewardship meeting with yourself. Time review, money review, contract status, people dashboard, act on it. The longest way to success is the shortcut. Obey the laws, build the systems, and watch your sporadic wins become a steady river. Your job will keep serving as a resource, but your source, God's laws and God's wisdom, will sustain the flow. And when the income becomes predictable, integrity will keep it clean. Let all things be done decently and in order, and your gift will not burn you, it will bless many. Now hear me as your pastor and your coach. Systems without staying power are scaffolds around an unfinished building. Write this down. Perseverance is the law that completes what wisdom begins. What did I say? Say it back to me. In other words, once you have your practice, your proof, your platform, and your processes, you must stay in your lane long enough for compounding to do its quiet work. The longest way to success is a shortcut. Tweet that to somebody who's addicted to overnight. Reject, hurry, embrace compounding practice. God wired the world for seed, time, and harvest. Genesis 8:22. Not seed, hype, and harvest. Time is not your enemy. Time is your elder. Respect it. Please write this down. Adjust method, not mission. Say it out loud. Your assignment is fixed. Your approach is flexible. Peter's mission was fish. Jesus didn't change the mission, he changed the side of the boat. Same lake, same net, different instruction. Right side, John 21. Paul's mission was the gospel. Sometimes he taught in synagogues, sometimes in the school of Tyrannus. Acts 19, same message, different channel. That's legal. Break the man-made rule that says if it doesn't work in 2 weeks, quit. Keep the law of perseverance that says if the mission is clear, keep refining the method until fruit appears. You don't break laws, laws break you. Hurry will break you. Perseverance will build you. Prayer, now hear me, prayer is not a substitute for work. Prayer aligns you with the laws so your work is not in vain. Joshua 1-8 does not say meditate only. It says meditate day and night that you may observe to do. Reverse the verse with me again. Meditate and do, and you will make your way prosperous and have good success. Predictable. Psalm 1 says, the man who delights in the law of the Lord and meditates day and night is like a tree planted by rivers. His leaf doesn't wither, and whatever he does prospers in season. Did you catch that? In season, not immediately. Luke 18:1 says, men ought always to pray and not faint. Prayer keeps you from fainting while you keep doing. Prosperity doesn't come by prayer, it comes by keeping laws. But prayer reveals the laws and supplies the stamina to keep them consistently. That's why Jesus rose early to pray and then spent the day performing alignment before assignment. Let me pass to you with a picture. I had a sister named Eden, an ICU nurse, who discovered her gift was systems that prevent hospital-acquired wounds. That's not glamorous on Instagram, but it solves a bleeding problem. She built a 3-step turn, rinse, racket protocol and started with 2 local clinics. For 90 days, she woke at 5:30, prayed through Psalm 1 and Joshua 1-8, then did 45 minutes of refining and documenting outcomes before clocking into her shift. She posted 1 weekly proof case, not selfies, outcomes. Pressure soars down 42% in 30 days. For 4 weeks, crickets. Week 5, a head nurse call. Week 8, she spoke at the county's nursing council. Week 10, a regional director asked for a pilot across 3 facilities. Eden adjusted methods. She moved from Instagram to LinkedIn, from public posts to direct messages with proof. She never changed the mission. Reduce preventable wounds. At day 74, a purchase order landed. Faith and patience inherit the promises. Hebrews 6:12. In due season you shall reap if you faint not. Galatians 6-9. Not because of vibes, but because laws reward persistence. Write this down and circle it. Your pace is part of your obedience. Isaiah 40:31 says, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall run and not be weary, walk and not faint. Waiting there isn't laziness, it's braided strength. You twist your weakness into his strength in prayer, then you run your assignment without gasping. Break the rule of instant gratification. Keep the law of endurance. Habakkuk 2-3 says, the vision is for an appointed time. Though it tarries, wait for it. It will surely come and not delay. Appointed time means there's a legal season attached to your harvest. If you dig at the seed every 3 days to see if it's growing, you have broken the law of germination. Leave it, water it, watch time become your ally. Now here is your 3 0-day activation. Please write this down and do it. Laws reward doers, not hearers only. James 1:22. Daily practice 45 minutes, same time, same place, every day except Sabbath. That block is sacred. You refine your method, document your steps, or run a micro experiment, weekly proof every week, one measured case study, or one quantified outcome published. Not fluff fruit. Baseline to afterline, numbers and a sentence or two. Weekly platform, one post, talk, or mini workshop where you place your proof in front of identifiable people. Local room or digital room, but a room. Monthly offer, one launch or enrollment window for your flagship offer or a low-risk pilot. That's 12 offers a year. Tell them we open on the 1st and the 15th, or pilot starts the first Monday of each month. Rhythm creates reliability. Reliability creates revenue. What did I say? Rhythm creates reliability. Reliability creates revenue. Say it out loud. Let me correct the temptation. On day 9, you will want to skip. On week 3, you will want to pivot your entire purpose because one post flop. Stop. Adjust the headline, not the heart. Change the time slot, not the truth. Shift the channel, not the calling. David came home to Ziklag burn and his men weeping. He did not panic pivot. He paused and prayed, shall I pursue? And the Lord answered, pursue, for you shall surely overtake and recover all. 1 Samuel 30:8. Prayer keeps you from reaction. It positions you for precision. In other words, pray, then pursue. Say this line with me and etch it into your spirit. My job is a resource. My work is my assignment. My gift is my economy. Again, louder. Your paycheck will buy the software, the train ticket, the room rental, the first samples, the microphones, but your source is the law of value combined with persevering practice under the guidance of prayer. That is why some of you will out-earn your job without resigning prematurely, because you honor the sequence. Purpose first, laws second, practice third, proof and platform, systems, then perseverance soaked in prayer. That's sustainable. Now I bless your hands and your habits. May Psalm 90:17 rest on you. Establish the work of our hands. Yes, establish the work of our hands. May you be like Joseph, steadfast in prison, strategic in the palace. May God give you the tongue of the learned to know how to speak a word in season to him who is weary. Isaiah 50:4. But hear me, act on what you heard. Don't leave this as notes in a journal. Set your 45 minutes for tomorrow morning. Prepare your weekly proof template tonight. Choose your platform slot Tuesday, 8 a.m. LinkedIn, or Thursday, lunch and learn at the library. Mark your monthly offer date. Then pray before you sleep, and at dawn, meditate and do. If you do these things, success becomes predictable, not because you are special, but because you are obedient. One more time before we go. The longest way to success is the shortcut. Break the rule of hurry. Keep the law of steady practice. Adjust method, not mission. Meditate day and night and do. Say it again. My job is a resource. My work is my assignment. My gift is my economy. I charge you now in the name of Jesus, go and do. And may kings call not because you chased them, but because you stayed in your lane until the Lord delivered you there.